No matter the niche or the product, one thing is always constant and one thing is always certain. E-commerce is really competitive. And we've consistently seen that a well-optimized product page is often the difference between a store that is struggling and the one that thrives. I've been doing e-commerce CRO for 10 years now, and each year I'm more and more convinced that optimizing product pages is key to driving sales and unlocking growth. I believe this because effective optimization not only increases conversion rates, but it also builds trust and excitement about the product, leading to higher lifetime values, higher referrals, etc. Product page is a page that can make people feel proud to buy. So if you are a store owner and you've thought about what you should have on your product page, then you're in the right place. Because in this video, I will give you the blueprint to optimize your product pages by sharing what every product page should have and the key principles the product pages should follow. But before we jump in, I myself, founder of Grow Gurus, where I run a team of 6 specialists and work with a couple dozen of clients at any given time, optimizing their storefronts for conversion and average order value. So if you are running a successful store, looking to take it to the next level, then get in touch with me. You can do so from the links in the description. First off, let's be real. Every product and every brand is different, which means that there's no one size fits everyone solution. However, there are still definitely some must-have elements for every product page, no matter the niche, no matter the product. And what we've noticed from our experience is that people tend to either leave quickly or they tend to stay long. And the very first thing that we need them to do is to get them to stay, because this allows us to then pitch our product. Because only if they are staying and even somewhat intrigued can we then have a chance to actually influence them. And this means that you pretty much at first, when they're landing on your product page, you have to capture their attention within the first 8 seconds of them landing or flowing to your page. And this also means that your value proposition must be at least 3 things. It needs to be solid, it needs to be easy to spot, and needs to be understandable. And it must be all these 3 things within the first 2 mobile screens, because that's 8 seconds. And because that is all that you get with most people. So keep it clear and keep it simple at the beginning of the page. And then visitors will quickly see and comprehend why they should choose your product over others. And now, when writing your product descriptions, keep them clear, keep them concise, keep them intuitive, because nobody wants to wade through a bunch of hyped up fluff, because they know that you do want to sell to them. That's your agenda. So they are very aware of being sold to. There's this resistance. And if you hype up, then that resistance will go higher. But at the same time, though, they have this bad case of ADD as internet people. So you still have to start by highlighting the benefits and what your customers are going to get out of purchasing this. And once that has been laid out in a non-hypey way, but to the point way, only then can you actually describe the features of the product and the more technical aspects of the product as well. And keep in mind here that consumers would first likely ask themselves, do I need this? Or what's in it for me? Before saying things like, I like how it looks, or being otherwise able to rationalize their purchase to justify their spending. This approach is one that not only informs the person on the other hand, but also engages potential buyers. And in combination, it makes them more likely to convert into paying customers, making you revenue. So now that the first impression and the overall concept of the product page is covered, then let's not forget about the visual aspects of the page. So investing in high quality graphics and design to make your products look top notch, because impressions matter a lot in not only getting people to stay, but to get them to trust you. And great images not only attract attention, but they also help convey this quality and value of your products to the visitor. And consider here to always, if you can, including lifestyle images that show your product in use, as this creates an emotional connection and helps the customer envision themselves using the product. So a great presentation can significantly boost the customer trust and make them more likely to purchase. You see crazy A/B testing results with this, so believe me on this one. Just remember here that the buying decisions, they're always made emotionally and then they are justified with logic. So the emotional aspect of it matters, and it matters a lot. So if you can, try also thinking maybe there's a short clip of the product that you can share. That would be generally a great idea, because showcasing how your product, say, works in real life, or creating that connection of what this means for the end users, then that can make a big difference in catching people's interest. And it can also work as a well-produced clip, highlighting key features, demonstrating how to even use the product, share some customer testimonials, and making it in general a powerful tool for persuasion. Now, before we continue with the rest of the video, I recommend you like the video, subscribe to the channel to get more helpful e-commerce tips for merchants like yourself. And if you're already getting around 50,000 visitors to your store and you are interested in optimizing your store together with us, then you can find the links in the descriptions below. With that said, let's get back to it. Now, the customer has understood what the product is all about and has scrolled further down to your page at this point. So the interest, we can imagine that has peaked, and now you have bought a few precious seconds to communicate your message. So it's best time to showcase social proof and make them really want your product. Make them have this desire that others have liked it, the trust elements, etc. So in this case, we let the potential buyers filter, for example, by ratings. We include pictures with those reviews to boost credibility, ideally video testimonials, user-generated content, etc. Because social proof is incredibly powerful in e-commerce, and is one of those things where we cannot do face-to-face sales. So we are doing it with online, but it still needs to be something that's relevant for the people. And social proof, being able to relate to others, is something that reassures the customers that others have had positive experiences with your product, and then you are likely to have as well. So of course, to get this, you have to encourage your satisfied customers to leave reviews in the first place, and perhaps consider offering them incentives for doing so if you don't yet have good amount of reviews. Now, while you have your customers' interest, they might be having some questions in mind that need to be satisfied sooner or later. And this is where a brief FAQ section will likely be necessary, depending on the complexity of the product. And adding a few basic questions that can supplement the product benefits would be perfect, because this is one that also helps you understand your customer, seeing which one of those questions are clicked, and maybe then we want to cover it a bit heavier on the copywriting, because obviously that wasn't covered. So that's the FAQ page, or FAQ section of the page. And here the idea is that a person who doesn't understand something will hesitate and will not buy. So those key questions will need to be answered if they are to be potential objections in front of the purchase. Lastly, you have to remember to focus on the very button that's crucial to seal the deal. And that is your add to cart button. So make sure that this specific button is the only main call to action on your product page, because this keeps things simple and focused and reduces that decision fatigue for your customers. There's only one thing to focus on, only one thing to click on. And if they see, say, multiple buttons competing for their attention, that can create confusion, which then leads to abandoned carts, etc. We've seen very good results by removing your shop base, PayPal buttons, etc., whatever you have you. So stick to one clear call to action to guide your visitors smoothly through the buying process, and make sure your CTA is as high on the page as possible. Ideally, it's even above the fold if possible, so your visitors don't have to scroll to find. Then, if you want to take it a level further, a sticky button on a longer page, which remains visible while scrolling, can be a big boost to your conversions as well. Always remember that the visitor visitor has of ADD, and if there's multiple options, then it can get confusing. So this helps to keep this top of mind and allows the customers to then easily add items to their cart, no matter how far they are browsing or no matter what they're reading on that product page. And this is especially important on mobile devices, because on mobile devices, screen space is limited, and this scrolling becomes such a long page. So their scrolling back up is a lot of work compared to desktop. So here it's good to think of it from this perspective as well and be empathetic to your visitors. Now, the more obvious and visible your call to action button is, the quicker it is for customers to decide and purchase. So the key is to make your CTA very quick to spot and as easy as 1, 2, 3. Then just watch the conversions come in once you have that solved. So in conclusion, optimizing your product page is essential for capturing customer attention and of course driving sales as well. No surprise there. But by focusing on crafting these compelling titles, persuasive descriptions, high quality images, and intuitive page design in general, you can still significantly enhance the shopping experience on the most important page you have on your store. Because the cart and checkout, they tend to be a bit more straightforward. This is where you can make a difference and separate your store from all the competitors. And of course, optimizing your product page is an ongoing journey of testing and tweaking. You are unlikely to get it right from the very first shot. So keep an eye on your analytics to see what is working and what's not, and then be willing to make those adjustments based on data and customer feedback. So that's about it. By following these strategies that I've outlined on this video, you can then create product pages that not only attract the visitors, but also convert them into customers, ideally even loyal customers, because they will be bought in to your product, ultimately driving better sales outcomes for your specific store. Now, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more tips on how to succeed as an e-commerce merchant. And if you are a merchant already and wish to let us help you with your store, you can book a call by clicking the link in the description below. So click on that and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.